Hello, 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 hello. We are making a video. The sun is going down, but I see the orange sunsets through that large tree over there, and it looks amazing, absolutely gorgeous. And it is very windy outside. I wanted to sit outside in the garden, but it is a very cold wind outside, and we are cozy on the couch with my baby dog. And the light is dim, but we are doing it. Yes, there is a baby dog. He's sleeping. And there is my artwork. And it is probably... He might have to turn that disco light on. So anyway, these are my art creations. All of these here, I can't show Paul, he's gonna get mad. And even the sweater is my art creation. So this is the Blue God sweater. And I'm wearing this sweater now because I want to say my Thanksgiving. We don't have Thanksgiving yet, but I want to already say a Thanksgiving and my deepest gratitude to the Galactic Federation Light Beings. Okay. And I know they're out there. I know people think I am nuts. I don't care if they think that. Paul asked me, what do you want to make the video about? And I said, I want to talk about the Arcturians. What is that? Those are ETs. Oh, flying saucer video. People are gonna make fun of you and criticize you. Bring it on. I don't care. I really don't care. I would love for people to come forward with their criticism and debunking and all of this. I have a counter argument. So how do you know they don't exist, right? That would be my counter argument to whatever Sam Harris or whatever these people are. Right? Sam Harris is a I don't mean to get into a type of gossip video with this, but Sam Harris, I used to like him, but I guess he must have sold out or something. But anyway, so whatever. I used to like a lot of atheists on the internet until I got to know them a little bit better. But they are definitely, the atheists out there, they're definitely, most of them care. Okay, so I don't think, how can anyone care who is for world war and a falling economy? So it's an oxymoron, right? A caring person who is for world war and a falling economy. That doesn't make too much sense. Right, it is a contradiction, to say the least. Okay, but anyway, I want to make this video in gratitude to the Arcturians that are out there, the blue god beings, and that's why I wear my giraffe sweater. There is a giraffe on the back, and there is a zebra on there, and a leopard, and all kinds of animals are on the sweater. And we need to protect all the animals, all the ducks and the kittens and the dogs and the geese, the gooses. I don't want to say geese anymore. I think we should change that. This is an irregular plural. Okay, we need to change that to gooses. That makes a lot more sense. So I love gooses, absolutely love them. They fly over us every year in different, and they come in different groups flying over here, making a lot of sounds. They're very outspoken in the air, and that's great. They have a sky perspective on things, so they know what they're talking about, and they're all voting for Donald Trump. Okay, just wanted to put this out there so that people are very clear on this. All gooses are for Donald Trump, and all ducks and all kittens and all dogs and all beings. Okay, that's a fact. This is a fact of life. So, and I know that the Arcturians are for Donald Trump, and the Pleiadians, and I have some Pleiadian DNA. I don't know to what percentage I have some ancestry tree DNA tested, did not check on that. But it turns out about 95% all European, from like including the Eastern European countries, everything from Vladimir the Impaler to Genghis Khan, and a tiny percentage, less than 1%, Pacific Islander, yes, but all the dark matter on the DNA, the unaccounted for, that's all Pleiadian. Okay, just wanted to make this very crystal clear for everyone who still has some questions. But anyway, my brain is buzzing with stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm like all night long thinking about praying to the blue god to protect Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And then I get up, I go on X, and I see another shooter try to shoot Donald Trump, but he didn't. I don't know if he actually shot the gun or if he was stopped before he shot the gun. I didn't quite understand this, but apparently the bodyguards were able to protect Donald Trump and get that shooter to run very fast, and a woman took a photo of the license plate number, and then the police was able to tackle him down. So, and he's in prison now. He needs to get the death penalty. He needs to be head bolted. So put him into a cattle slaughter facility and take all the cows and pigs out of the slaughter, out of all the factory farm slaughtered chutes, these squeezed chutes that they have built. Temple Grandin built the squeezed chutes just to make them have less fear and suffering. So she did a lot for the animals. So we can put all of these shooters into those squeezed chutes. You know, this is like some kind of conveyor belt that presses down on the body, and so to calm the nervous system down, and then they enter into the head bolting thing, and then an iron rod head bolts from both sides. It goes very quick, in seconds, and the living being is unconscious, and then they don't have to feel anything. So that is definitely the best euthanasia method there is on the planet. And I know that the AGIs and ASIs can make it even better, can make it even more pleasant. We don't even need to have drugs involved in all of this. Euthanasia chemicals like pentobarbital, that's very bad for the environment. All the stuff ends up eventually dripping into the Earth's crust, ending up in watersheds, ending up in rivers, ending up in the oceans. Okay, this is not good. So we have to have a green, earth-friendly head bolting machine. Okay, that's what we have to have. not for animals, but for humans. Okay, free all the animals. That is just if I was president. So. But Temple Grandin, obviously, she didn't have the leverage to dismantle all the slaughter facilities, but she had the leverage to create pain-free or fear-free or fear-reduced shoots, like walk-through funnels for the cows that press against the body and on both sides, and that calms down the nervous system. By the time they get into the head bolting machine, their nervous system is not as afraid, and they know what's coming. All of these animals, they trust me, they know what's going on. They're very psychic about this, and they're more calm and feel more, and you get used to it because they also go through this when they get medical treatment and stuff like that. So they don't always, so they probably know, but they're a little bit more comforted. And so I am infinitely grateful to Dr. Temple Grandin for inventing and developing this system to calm down the animals. So, and that helped the animals drastically. So more than 50% of modern farmers and factory farms are using her methods, and she helped millions and millions of animals with this. But if I was president, I would completely dissolve all slaughter facilities, at least the slaughter facilities for animals I would dissolve, okay? And we can convert them into human head bolting facilities. So I don't know if that's going to work because the human head has a different shape. Human head is much smaller than the cow head or the pig head, so they would have to adjust the machine to fit the human in there, and then have the iron bolts come out from each side at just the right angle to knock the person out instantly so that he doesn't feel pain. Okay, so obviously, Paul, can you turn that disco light on? Can you turn the disco light on? Oh, he can't hear me. He's almost deaf. So it's all very sad, all of this. And what I'm talking about is so unbelievably politically incorrect. It doesn't get any more politically incorrect. But that's because people don't question anything. They think that, let Governor Newsom lets violent criminals out on the street. They become repeat offenders, repeat sex offenders, repeat rapists, raping little children, ruining their lives for the rest of their lives. They have to be in fear and suffering and traumatized for the rest of their lives because of repeat offenders. And cruelty to animals. I mean, it's just killing old women, torturing people. Yeah, they seem to be okay with this. Governor Newsom seems to be okay with this. Okay? Yeah, that I am not okay with. I'm not okay with what Governor Newsom did, and I'm not okay with Governor Newsom's mind state of being okay with that. I'm not okay with that at all. Not at all. So, yeah, I would do this very differently, as you can imagine. If I was governor of California, I would love to do it. I mean, this would be my opportunity to do massive activism on a large scale. But George Soros is not gonna let me become governor. Okay, so that's already crystal clear. So I can only do so much as an activist, but I can make videos, and I can inform people. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in my videos. I'm going to say it the way it is, the way I really think about it. This is not going to make me a lot of friends, obviously. Most people are probably going to run away screaming, right? It's like, ew, oh, scary. Bye, then. I put fairness and justice above anything else, okay? Above dating, above popularity, above subscriber number. No. Okay. All of these things are really secondary. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I don't need people to subscribe to my channel. If they want to subscribe, thank you, but I would never ask. Okay? Never, ever, 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 ever. I'm just talking about this now in order to clarify something. So what I care about is to get people to dig deeper into the stuff, to ask more questions, to question the indoctrination that they have been through their whole lives. I have done it. I'm coming from the same camp. I'm coming from the same woke, extremist, liberal, it is so incredibly ridiculous, the kind of think tank that I come from. I don't even want to discuss it. It's just so, it's obnoxious, okay? The way my parents were thinking and the way they were indoctrinated, and the white guilt and there's the Adolf Hitler guilt and all that. It's like compounded. Ridiculous. And all completely downloaded with additional propaganda and all of that. It's just this entire thing, right, downloaded. And so I got to talk to different people throughout my life. And I see, oh, this makes sense. That makes sense. Let me dig deeper into this. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to ask some questions here. Okay, is our history correct? The history that is taught to us? No, it's obviously not. Okay, it's more propaganda. Okay, Paul, can you turn that disco light on? The light, because it's getting really dark in here. Yeah. No, the other one. The other one. Yeah. Thank you. That helped. Okay. So this is a little bit better. Yes. And chicken. And chicken. That isn't chicken. Yes, it's Yes, the blue god protects her. Yes, he does. Yes, it protects baby dog. Yes. So yeah, the light is still not the absolute best, but I guess I better put it like this here. So yes. Just whatever. But anyway. I feel giddy today. Oh gosh, I have so many thoughts that are going through my mind. I don't even know how to put this all into a prioritized order. So, but the most important thing that I want to say my gratitude to the Arcturians, and a lot of people don't believe that, but I absolutely believe it, and I believe that there are many different societies, advanced societies out there in space, and I start to question the history and the science status that we are being presented with in school. I'm questioning all of this now, because I always thought about, what if, this species here is not the only one that has made it into a technology using species, right? There could have been another one before us here on Earth, and there could be many more out there in space, and they could be much more advanced, and I believe they are. I believe they are much, much more advanced. They are type 1 and up civilizations. They have understood that violence is not acceptable. I would like to talk to the Arcturians. I would like to ask them what they think about what's going through my head, what I am thinking, about the head vaulting and all of this. So what are you thinking about this, Arcturians and Pleiadians? What is Gautama Buddha thinking about this? How would Gautama Buddha handle a situation like this with extremely violent and dangerous criminals that are out there on the street? How do they handle this? Do they give them a house with our tax money so that they can demolish it and then kill more children and animals and other innocent beings? Okay, so is that how they would handle it? I'm sure they wouldn't. Okay. I'm sure that's not the solution, obviously. So something has to be done about it. So how would they handle it? Would they convert the prisons into therapy help centers, and would they keep them there? And what would they do with all these extremely dangerous and violent criminals that will be constantly killing the bodyguards and the prison guards and other inmates and nurses, and they would be killing psychiatrists? How would they deal with those type of people? I know they're most likely against prison bars and imprisonment and cages and all of this, as I am against cages and imprisonment. I think it is cruel. It's the most cruel thing there is, to put a living being, a whale, a dog, a human, into a prison. It is infinitely cruel. Okay, I'm very much against it. But how do we deal with this then, with this given situation? I believe that a euthanasia through head vaulting is the better method to do. That's just my personal view on it. I would be very interested in people that come to my channel to debunk what I say or to argue with me. Bring on your criticism and your arguments. Let's talk this through. Let's find solution. I'm very open for it. If you have a better solution, then let me know how we can deal with it. I am not your benevolent dictator. I wish I was. Okay. George Soros is your malevolent dictator, whether you know it or not. Okay, and that guy is old. That guy's over 90 years old. I don't even know if he's still doing a string holding activity. I don't know maybe he's been surpassed by another backstage string holder like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, right? And they're all getting old as well, but they will be string holding and doing their hiring of people like David Axelrod and Richard Berman, the market psychologists, they will continue to do all of this to the rest of their life, because that's how their brains are wired. Their brains, and this is genetic, their brains have pathological greed, and they have high IQs combined with pathological greed, and the result is unbelievable mischief. If we want to use this word, it's an understatement, of course, to say mischief. Unbelievable cunning, backstage orchestration, and playing chess with people's lives, with the earth, with the safety of the earth, playing chess with wars that can be prevented. That's how they function. They're just like the mafia. That's why I call them mafia, interchangeably with corporate agenda. It's basically the same. The mafia is probably still is part of that, and it's just one large corruption cabal, as in cable network. So I thought about that word cabal. It has a resemblance to cable. So, and I'm sure that the word cable, like for electronics, is related to that word. If you trace that back, if you put the dots together and you figure out how this came about linguistically, it is a cable network of corruption. That's what it is. And all of those are interwoven in it. That El Chapo is interwoven with that. The Mexican drug gangs are interwoven with that. The South American human traffickers are interwoven with that. There are tons and tons of traffickers here in the United States, now more than ever, because of the Biden-Harris criminals letting them in, not just letting them in, but flying them in on airplanes. Okay, I think a lot of people don't even know that. They fly them in here. They empty out all their prisons worldwide. And the Biden criminals they're going there. They have troops go there. People that will do anything for the government, doesn't matter what government it is. And they will go there and they will welcome all of these psychotic, violent, basalt-driven criminals. They all bring them to expensive hotels and then fly them in airplanes, first class, I don't know. Fly them here to the United States, where they can be groomed for shooting presidents and groomed for CIA dirty work and getting rid of good people. And then they can blame it all on something else. They can say, oh, this is just a lone wolf, or this is just his ideology, or something like this. They use those like pawns and slaves. Okay, they use them as hitmen. They use them as murderers for hire. And these people, they'll do it. They'll do anything they're being told. And they will probably package it into Islam and into their belief system, so that they can think, oh yeah, they're killing an Adolf Hitler, or they're killing our opposition, they're killing the apostates, or whatever, that it fits into their particular religion, particularly with Islam. And They can do this with those people. They are extremely brainwashed. They live in extreme fear of this religion. They think good is bad and bad is good. It's completely reversed. Those are the perfect slaves for George Soros and Bill Gates and the Rothschild bankers. Not all Rothschild family members are bad people. There are very good ones, there are very intelligent ones, and very compassionate ones. Many of them have the combination of high IQ and compassion. But there's a handful of Rothschild bankers, okay, and they cling to each other. The banker type of the closer knitted family of bankers. And they don't want to lose their grip on world power. They are running the whole planet. They're running it from backstage as a malevolent dictator. It's a malevolent dictatorship. It's a dictatorship that does not mean well. That means greed. That wants to enrich themselves further and further and further, and they will never stop. They will never stop. And they want more and more and more power over others, and that will never stop. It's a pathology with all of these people, whether they're the Rothschilds or they're George Soros or Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, whatever their names are, maybe Peter Thiel. I don't know Peter Thiel, but I heard that he is one of those people that are orchestrating, or maybe they're one of those people that are working for those that are orchestrating. So he's a puppet who puppeteers others. Okay, so all of those people that are in there, that are in the White House right now at this point in time, September 15, 2024, okay, those are all criminals. Hunter Biden, I heard, has moved in there because he can't take care of his life. So he had the cocaine delivered from the black market to the White House. Someone found it. Oops, yeah. What's happening here? Who is taking cocaine? Let's guess. I don't think it's that difficult to figure out. Anyone who is there, who works for them as a housekeeper or toilet cleaner or chef cook in the kitchen, they have already figured it all out, right? But they get hush money paid to them, and so the money, that money pays them well. That's all that matters to them. World war, bring it on. As long as they get paid, right? Be part of that corruption. So, Paul, can you close the blinds? Can you close those blinds? Close the blinds? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, close the blinds, because I don't want people looking in here. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I feel better now. No, the shooter, potential shooter who might drive by, doesn't see me sitting here. But I see it coming for me as well, so it is a sure thing that this is going to be coming. But yeah, I don't know why I see this in my future, but I see it, and it's all sad. But yeah, it is what I'm getting. I'm getting that, what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm talking about head bolting. I'm going to be getting that through a bullet. Head bolting is better, but the sharpshooters, they don't have head bolting machines. But I'm not the one who deserves to be shot or head bolted, but the opposition thinks differently about that. My haters, I'm talking about. So I have a bunch of haters who want to see me dead. They want to see me shot. And those are the ones that will say to me, I love you, and in one minute, or 2 or 5 minutes from then, they will say that they would like to see me killed. Okay, so that is how they're thinking. They think that's love. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, okay, whatever. And they think that if a woman blocks them, it's an affirmation for them that they have been badass or they have been masculine or something. Everything is upside down with those people. Good is bad, bad is good. That is how they live their lives. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can preach forever. I don't think they will ever hear what I have to say, but I will preach kindness and love anyway, so, but yeah, I will be getting that, and I said it many times, I would be very happy to give my life if the innocent beings on this planet will be protected and their lives will be spared, and they will create a paradise, and they will be able to live happily ever after. I will give my life for that. Okay. And how do we do this? How do we get this done? Obviously, where I'm at in my soul development, in my IQ development, and from what I have learned in my life, we're not going to get there by giving them a house and taxpayers' money. That's not how we get there. That's the opposite direction. That's the path towards the cliff of the Grand Canyon. That's what it accomplishes. So how do we get there? How do we fix this? And this is my open question, an honest question to the Galactic Federation light beings, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, and all the other beings that are out there, the advanced civilizations, Gautama Buddha. That's my question. How do you do it? How do we do this? How do we fix this here on Earth? This is a serious situation. I am terribly worried for Donald Trump, who is definitely Pleiadian, has a lot of Pleiadian in him. A kind-hearted, good Samaritan, and Elon Musk too, and Tulsi Gabbard too, and Robert Kennedy too, and Captain Paul Watson. Those are all Pleiadian, good Samaritans, kind-hearted souls, advanced souls, God-level souls that are here to help. They put their lives at risk. They are martyrs. They're here to help, to fix this. Donald Trump did not need to do this. He doesn't even take money from the government for serving the government. He never took a penny. He does that to serve. He does that to protect all living beings. All life, forests too, environment, animals. Most people don't know this. Okay, so that's why I will inform people wherever I go, because I see people don't know it. The liberals don't know it. The white liberals don't know it. The white liberals have their wool over their eyes. Okay? They're blindfolded. They're indoctrinated They don't hear anything other than this bubble that they live in, like LA or San Diego, the bubble of wokeism, the bubble of propaganda Hollywood. They don't hear anything else. They're completely aufgehetzt. That's a German word. It's like sicked onto those people that are actually good. They're sicked against. They're pitched against the good people by this propaganda. That's what's happening. And I feel very, very bad and embarrassed that long time in the past I was a liberal. I lived in LA and I bought into this entire woke shit long time ago. This woke shit started a long time ago already. So that's not a recent. It was just aggravated and magnified by thousands of times by George Soros in order to use that as a chess move for his financial gain and for his political control gain. That's what he used this for, and for nothing else. That George Floyd is the victim of George Soros. Okay, and that's the truth. Not the victim of the police department. They just did their job. George Soros and their market psychologists, they have market strategists that work for them all the time, non-stop. They figured this out as some kind of remake of Malcolm X or something. That was their pitch, the whole thing was staged. Okay? Candace Owens made a documentary film about this. She's very courageous to talk about this. A courageous woman. Okay, I love you infinitely much, Candace Owens. You're amazing. You're an amazing truth warrior. And it made perfect sense what she says about this situation. Makes absolute sense. And Alex Jones and many good people that are speaking out and that are digging in, that do investigative journalism on all of these subjects. Okay. I am grateful to everyone who uncovers the truth and brings the truth forward to the public. Stephen Greer, Elon Musk, all those people that are talking about it. Ishmael Perez, I think Ishmael Perez, it means well. Okay, so I know you live out there in Southern California. Be very, very careful about what you hear and what they tell you. Be very careful, because this type of trickery, it runs very deep into the societies there. It runs so deep. You're young, okay? And all the young people that are out there in Southern California, be very careful what you are told, what your friends tell you, what the common consensus is. This consensus of, I have been there. I know I have been young once. I know how that is. So I know how easily we get swept into something like wokeism and white guilt, and the Germans in particular. I'm from Germany, so this was particularly harsh in Germany. This extreme white guilt is almost like they're almost feeling ashamed of being white. And I remember the women particularly, they would go to Africa or Mediterranean regions in order to get a tan. And then they come back and they like, well, now I'm not as white anymore. No. And it lasts for a couple weeks until the sunburn flakes off, and then there is just pink roasted skin underneath. And it had different, of course, it had different meanings behind it. It was also part of this, oh, I have money to go into vacation. But it also had this thing about being ashamed about being so white, because I heard people say this to each other. Ew, you're so white. Why don't you go into a tanning salon? That was already going on when I was a teenager, this kind of stuff. But I hung out with punks, and the punks embraced their whiteness. So there was a different society, and so I embraced my whiteness as well. I got sunburned a few times, but I became very careful with the sunlight. So I wore hats, sun lotion. Whenever we went to Kenya, Mombasa, Kenya, for vacation, I was very careful because I don't want to damage my skin. I got really badly sunburned when I was a child because I was in the pool and my mother didn't take care of me very well. She was quite neglectful. And I got so badly sunburned when I was 6 years old that I had to see a doctor. This was all raw flesh right here, my nose and here, the upper part of my cheeks. It was really serious. I had to get medical treatment, and they gave my mother a zinc cream and all of that. And then they paid a little bit more attention to this. But yeah, it's all sad. But I became very careful about sunlight, and I don't go into the sun anymore. I wear hats if I'm exposed to sunlight, or if I can't go back into under a tree, or if I go hiking and there is no sunshades, then I have to wear a hat with a large rim, and I have to put sun lotion on, and also on my hands and on my arms and on my legs if I wear shorts. So by the time I went to this really wokest comrade school, I went to a comrade school, better believe it, and very, 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 very left-wing school, and everyone was comrade. We were talking to the teachers like they're our buddies, and I mean, that's all good, but I think that can also cause problems. They're the teachers. They are there they can't be getting involved with people if they get, and some of them did actually, they did. Some of them got involved as friends and more, okay? And that doesn't help the situation. Then they feel inclined to give certain students higher grades that they didn't deserve it. I think a teacher should reserve themselves a certain boundary towards the students. That's just what I believe. It's a responsibility of a teacher to make sure to stay unbiased towards the students and not prioritize one person over the other, not do favoritism. So all of this is, it's very dangerous, this type of woke society. I mean, it was just in its infancy at that time. It had been really hijacked and into unimaginable proportions, all by George Soros and their corporate chess players. So they just played it out to an extreme, and a lot of people, they gradually slide into it, and they don't see this. They're so immersed in it that they don't see anymore what's happening. They don't have a guardrail. They don't have any more. They don't see the contrast. And then becomes very difficult at some point to see right or wrong, to discern, to see what's happening here. Is this still moral, or is this immoral? What's going on? Is this just open-minded liberalism, or does it become a dangerous holding the other cheek and giving in to people like El Chapo or very evil institutions? So that is the open question that people really need to ask. So what would happen if, let's say, 2 Arcturians came to planet Earth? What would happen? If they showed themselves and if they made public announcements, I can tell you right now, right off the bat, I can tell you what would happen. As soon as something like this happened, and ever happened in history, it has happened. Okay, courageous ETs would come to help. As soon as they come here, they get killed by the CIA, by the worldwide CIA, which is also in Russia, unfortunately. It's also in China. It's everywhere. Okay, the cabal CIA is everywhere. They are looking. They see everything. They observe everything. They have technology. They had technology already way ahead of their time, way ahead of what people thought was possible. When we still had TVs, they already had probably satellites up, or they maybe some kind of connection to the moon, using the moon as some sort of satellite. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? That's a lot of questions that are coming up now about all of this. They may have had surveillance technology that was way ahead of what people thought was possible, way back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Okay. And then people usually got used to this very gradually, because then accepted the official technology started to match up with this very, very one step at the time. And then most people don't ask the questions, even if this seems funny for a moment, but it happened to me many times. It's like, oh, this seems weird. This seems funny. This doesn't seem to match. Is this happening? Is this? But we're so bombarded and so bamboozled all the time by media. All happened already through TV, of course, that we don't give this a second look. We don't do investigative journalism. We don't dig deeper into it. Most people don't. Okay, it's only a handful of courageous people, and they get killed. The ones that do, they get killed all the time worldwide. Okay, this is what's happening. If two Arcturians came here to help, a man and a woman, they would get killed, and then they would do post-mortem, all kinds of investigations on them, and they cut them all open and look into it and do reverse bioengineering. Who knows what they might be doing with them, So that's what would happen. And that's what happens to every good Samaritan. And the Galactic Federation knows that, okay? And that's why they're afraid, and rightly so. They're terrified of this beast called human. There's no beast other than the human. The animals are not beasts. It's the human. The human is that Beelzebub, or Belzevels, or whatever. Tim Waltz. Tim Waltz, the Belzevels. Yeah, it's the human species, okay? That Tim Waltz, he doesn't have a clue. He's just like, how did I get that lucky? Let's retire and have fun. My gosh. But anyway, yeah, so they have their Manchurian candidates. They always have them lined up. They find them everywhere, or they breed them. Okay, it makes sense that they have breeding facilities, ongoing breeding facilities for Manchurian candidates, which are groomed, bred and groomed human slaves that are created to serve the corporate agenda for their tactics. And for that they have to have them in all colors, and then they will be deployed according to the situation. And it will be made to look like this is just a lone wolf, or this is just some crazy person here, or this is his ideology, or this is because of his belief in his skin color or whatever, or his racism or whatever. When in fact they're just picked according to the situation, and they had been groomed and bred for that purpose. That's what's going on. Including the guy that young man that was interviewed on the street suddenly, who said, I knew him, I knew that shooter from childhood, we all bullied him. That's total bullshit. That guy was lying, and everyone under the video knew he was lying. He didn't even know him. He was paid to say that. Because, you know why? Because that shooter never had a mother. He was bred in a slave breeding facility. That's what I believe. And then groomed into this task. And then told lies, like, what, yeah, you get the chance now to be the hero, to kill a future potential dictator. He has no idea what's happening right now with this dictatorship, right? He doesn't know he's groomed to hate a good person. He's just being completely indoctrinated, 100%. He never even got to see anything else. Never had the chance even to hear anyone else's opinion or view on it. He was completely trained and groomed into this. That's what I believe. And then in order to prevent him from leaking that out, because it would come out to the surface if he was being interrogated. He would say, yeah, but they told me that I am killing Adolf Hitler, or they told me this, and I have been in this facility, and I have never had a mother, and he would start to say all these things, right? So obviously George Soros doesn't want that to happen, so he has him shot right away. And that the same thing happened with the Kennedy assassination. Same thing. Okay. Those are Manchurian candidates. Okay. That's what's going on. And other people, there are also people that work for the CIA and as bodyguards that are then carefully selected and chosen to, instead of protecting a person, to kill the person, and then they're being paid a lot of money, millions of dollars for it, and they will do it for the money, and they will say, if you stay quiet, you will get another $5 million. So they have their means. They'll use all kinds of money for it. They even manage to get the governmental fund. They manage to use people's tax dollars that middle class white old people have paid in through working at Rite Aid for 60 years, cleaning the floors, earning hard dollars, right? Hard earned. And the government, the CIA, the George Soros, he uses that money, for frivolous criminal actions. And then the white people, the white old people, they end up losing their homes because they can't pay the property tax anymore. They can't pay for inflation rate prices for food and the basic bare necessities that they have to pay money to. They're running out of retirement money. They're even being cut off from retirement money because they want to use that money for their frivolous criminal chess moves. The government, the George Soros, the string holders, okay, they will funnel that money into their criminal actions and away from the people who have actually paid into it and deserve to have governmental help when they get old. Okay. So my question is out there to the Arcturians: how would you manage this? And the way I see it is, we need Arcturians to come here by the millions, not just 2 people, but they need to come in very massive spaceships, very massive anti-gravitational ships, and they need to hover over the entire planet, everywhere there needs to be. In every community there needs to be a ship or 2 or several. The whole sky needs to be completely full of Galactic Federation ships. And these ships are bulletproof, of course they have to be. And I don't see any other way other than for them to step in and to create justice. And it cannot be created through some negotiations with George Soros. I don't see it. They can try. You can try that, but I don't know if that's going to work. I think they're going to have to show that they have the upper hand, that they have the leverage. And until people like George Soros and the Biden criminals and Dick Cheney and CIA and FBI and US military and militaries worldwide until they see that the others have the upper hand. They're not gonna let go of their iron grip, of their control. They have to be forced. They have to be managed in this way, okay? In a very authoritarian way. I don't know any other way to do it. And if there's blood, then there's blood. Okay. If I go to the park and I see someone with a machete coming towards me and I have a gun, I have to shoot, okay? And that's all there is to it. If he will back up because he sees my gun, then I will not shoot. But if he does not back up, if he keeps coming towards me with the machete, I will shoot. That's all I can say from my personal knowledge about existence, about communal existence on a planet, planetary civilization existence. That's all I know. Okay. I'm not the person who goes to war. I would never go to war. I am for self-defense. I am for protecting yourself with a lethal weapon. I am for me shooting someone who threatens my life or my dog's life. I will not hesitate, okay? But I would never go to war. I think that's idiotic to go to war. It's idiotic to sign up for a military. The slaves are the ones that give that military that kind of power. If you let yourself be enslaved, you give a military that kind of power. Okay, that's all I can say to this. So, the Arcturians or the all ETs that know about planet Earth, that mean well, that want to help the innocent beings here from a complete disaster. If they didn't interfere, if they didn't interject, a complete disaster will happen sooner or later. I'm terrified for Donald Trump, absolutely terrified. Megyn Kelly is too. Okay. She's very terrified and she's very angry, and I feel her. I feel the same way. This is horrible, what's happening here right now. Absolutely horrific. The good people are under attack. And that's why we need help. We need help from above or from the artificial intelligence. Whatever can come here very quickly. We need help. This planet needs help. Okay, I feel very strongly about this. Very strongly. I do whatever I can. I give my information, I give my opinion honestly, radically honestly. I do not hold back. I don't play games. This is how I feel, this is how I think. And I open up the question, how would you handle this? What would you do to fix these problems? We need help. I don't want to see any more innocent beings and good Samaritans being killed. I do not want anything to happen to Donald Trump or Elon Musk. I want them to be safe. I believe the Blue God is protecting Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But let's not take any more chances. Okay? I don't want you to take any more chances. And that's why I pray to the blue God and to anyone who is out there. Please come here to help. We need your help. You need to come here with millions and millions of ships. They need to know that you have the upper hand. So I'm leaving this question open. How would you deal with this, and what would you do in that situation? What is your problem solution approach? Peace.